We did this, right? Looking at it. Crazy bitch. Dragon. Crazy dragon. Wait, did they kiss? I don't remember that. I don't remember this. Did I watch Drakengard 2 Analysis Part 2? That's the real question. Thank you, Hachan. You're the best Hachan that ever Hachan. No, she's not your baby. She's my baby. Not your baby. My chickie. I adopted her. She's got my last name. She's my baby.
She loves me more.
Of course the baby's always going to love the mother more. Because you spoil her rotten.
She said I'm mommy.
I discipline her. Wait, what? You manipulative bitch. You tricked me. You tricked me, you manipulative.
Oh, me?
Oh, yeah, you.
No,
Who couldn't be? Then who? Can I have ice cream?
No.
I can't promise you you'll enjoy it, but there are clearly people who do, and I don't have a single problem with that. Overall, my disappointment stems from the fact that it's not a good Drakengard sequel. It looks cheaper, they decided to tone things down so children can play it, and whenever I hear people talking about Drakengard, it's never about how child-friendly the story is. What attracted most people I've spoken to is the dark method of storytelling. I mean, the game wasn't perfect. Hell, it was a mess if I really look into it, but the story was such a clusterfuck of weird ideas that it totally worked.
Basically, NieR.
Drakengard 2 just kinda sits there with a few good ideas and genuinely depressing or flat-out adult moments.
I became a woman today.
Oh.
I'll continue to bleed like this until the day I die.
I'll protect you from now on, Eris. I'm a man, after all, and you're a woman.
What the fuck?
Which ended up feeling a bit out of place considering the tone
I would get my channel banned for that.
I'll say this. Play the game once through, then stop. The other endings are not worth playing the game 3 times. Admittedly, New Game Plus mode gives you a few extras, like being able to control all 4
Later,
characters from the start,
Fabriski.
and completing it fully allows you to play as a new breed from
See
the
ya
get-go.
around.
But considering how much time
I'll
I
try
put
to
into
do
it,
another
I
stream
don't
on
feel
Wednesday, so
worth
in 2
it.
days, not tomorrow,
Drakengard
day
2
after.
made me depressed.
Be good,
but
man.
not in the way I wanted it to.
My god.
You've grown strong.
Wait a minute, is that the commander?
Zero, you big dummy.
Who even is Zero?
Oh, hey there, you made it to the end.
No.
If you're new to the channel and
Get out of that Sailor Moon costume. That is why you can't find yourself a girlfriend, mate. Alright, what's this? Ooh, we're up to Drakengard. Holy crap, we're up to Drakengard 3. Too much information? You're telling me, buddy, we're playing androids and now we're going back in the past with dragons, magic, and what seems to be sexually confused things. Hey, babe, how's it going?
Do you want the noodle?
I would like a noodle, but I would also like... Why is Cheeky's... Does she have something in her eye?
Yeah, her eye's a bit weird. Like, since I came home, she's closing her right eye like this, but then now she isn't, so...
Maybe she's got... Maybe just wash her eye with some water. Hi, John. I asked for ice cream. You gave me a cheeky. I'm not complaining about the cheeky, but where's the ice cream?
You want noodles first?
I would like 2 of every food. Where do you want to go tonight? Where do you want to go tonight?
I don't know. Pizza? Is it on Monday?
If we're going to pizza buffet, I'm not eating lunch.
Is it on Monday?
It's called Bondi Pizza. You want to check it out? Just call them real quick. Google Bondi Pizza. Call them if they have buffet tonight. If we do, we do buffet. I'm under 100 kilos, so I got to get my weight back.
I already warmed up my noodle. Do you want to have some?
I will have half of your noodle then. And then we'll have buffet tonight.
Chicky's like...
My baby. No, you should love me. I'm your daddy.
Chicky, come here. Daddy.
You manipulative bitch.
Yay.
You stole my adopted daughter.
I think you should go on.
I think I should go... Jiki's physically saying no to Kuma. No, it's because Hachan keeps calling for her.
Because Chicky loves Hacha more.
You manipulative bitch!
I am pure and innocent.
You're not pure and innocent! I saw to that myself! You were pure and innocent. Not anymore, you're not. Anyways, where are we?
Understood. Executing code.
Oh, so this is where the fan service comes in. What the fuck is happening? Okay, so now they have katanas. We're getting closer to NieR. Oh, hey, Shadow. Wait. Why does Drakengard 3 look like NieR now?
Cast your minds back to early 2013, where a fresh-faced Clemps was hit with the news that Drakengard 3 was in development. Upon hearing the news, my initial
PS3?
reaction was something along the lines of this.
What do I do with all this semen? Why is there so much cum?
Finally, I thought to myself,
What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
Deserves, instead of being rushed out of the door with missing content and a bucket list of other issues. How naive I was. Now that's not to say the game is bad. I mean, it's bad, but it's not bad.
Why
Oh boy,
are
lots
you
of good
so...
stuff. I was happy to hear that Yoko Taro was back in the reins of Drakengard 3, but I was skeptical after reading that
Stop
fans of
looting
Drakengard
everything!
might be a little disappointed. Because of this, I was reconsidering a day one purchase. I had a strong feeling I'd end up regretting paying full price for it, and after playing Drakengard 3 in its entirety, I can safely say I was right to be worried. If I could sum up Drakengard 3 in 2 words, it'd be wasted potential. Kinda similar to
Big
Drakengard
boobs.
2 in that regard. I mean, when I first started playing the game, I absolutely loathed it, but as I continued playing, I found more and more things to be impressed by, and one part of the game in particular I thought was pretty brilliant. But sadly, that alone wasn't enough to win me over completely.
This is
Instead of
PlayStation
just
3
covering the
graphics?
story and gameplay of the base game, I'll also talk about the DLC that expands on some character backstories
Big
that the main
boobs, I
game
got it.
missed. And although the DLC costs just as much as the main game, I'm sure I'll get my money back with the revenue that...
Wait, what? Oh, 2,000 subscribers? Wait, no! Give me back my...
Naturally, the opinions are purely my own and shouldn't impact your like or dislike of the game.
This motherfucker.
It's explained in this cutscene that before the events of Drakengard 1, 5 mysterious songstresses descended upon the land of Midgard to rid the nation of its evil lords. The people
Naturally.
came to worship these sisters and their songs, and eventually called them the Intoners.
And as a result, mankind enjoyed an age of sweet reverie, basking in the newfound light and...
What the fuck? Oh, I like her already.
Bitch! This cheeky little shit is Zero, the protagonist of Drakengard 3, and the game also wastes no time introducing the dragon, Mikhail. Right off the bat, we're introduced with some problems. Dem frames though. What the fuck is this shit? Yeah, gonna have to... I mean, god damn, I'm only gonna touch on this a little, but how can you let the frame rate get this bad? Yeah, I know, rushed development, but wow, I paid for a video game, not a pissing slideshow. As you can see, gameplay has improved significantly from the previous games, though it's still pretty messy and unresponsive at times. Zero has their traditional combo moves, and unlike
This
the
is a
previous
PlayStation
installments,
3
you can lock
game.
onto enemies
The
that
same
can
game that has
dancing
Devil May
targets
Cry
much
4. Are
easier
you
to
kidding me?
around
This
the
is
roses, a pocket full of-
embarrassing.
Eventually, Zero makes it to a destination where the cast of Madoka Magica are waiting for her, which is actually not far from the truth, as the designers were asked to use the show as artistic influence.
Are you
These
fucking
are Zero's
kidding me?
sisters, and the Intoners who are now ruling the world in place of the evil lords. They follow the traditional
Yoko
magical
Taro has a
motif
thing
of being
for lol
designated
eaters.
to a certain colour like various other shows have done and are continuing doing so today. The sisters are named 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I guess that's
Are you
easy enough
kidding
to
me?
remember. I can roll with it. I'm gonna warn you, don't go choosing a best girl or whatever crap it is you cute sons of bitches do nowadays, because Zero's on a hunt for Intoner blood, and the game won't end till she gets it. After fighting the sisters, the leader of the Intoners, 1, summons a demon dragon named Gabriel. The DLC
Gabriel.
explains that this dragon was originally a female named Gabriella, who was voiced by none other than Angelus's voice actress. Only now she's a little spicier than usual.
I
The
like
game
this
never
dragon.
explains how 1 changed Gabriella into a demon, but it's clearly a sensitive subject to her, and some things are alright left unexplained. Obviously, we aren't going to slaughter our sisters in the opening act, so Gabriel gets the plot rolling by shooting Zero's arm off, then proceeds to charge a killing blow. A dying Mikhail attempts to save Zero after getting his shit stomped in by a couple of titans, sending
Really?
him flying,
Michael?
presumably killing him.
Can
This
I
particular scene
see
brings me
Lucifer
onto one of the
already?
main devices of the game.
Go Power Rangers! No, seriously, if we've got Michael and
Song.
Gabriel, I want
The
Lucifer
Intoners
as my
use song
dragon.
to power themselves up and to summon angels and demons to aid them in battle. You can initiate your Intoner mode by pressing L2,
Devil Trigger.
R2. How the fuck do I? Oh, R3 and L3. Sure.
You're too slow, you're too slow, you're too slow. Come on, step it up.
Whilst in this mode, it adds lyrics to the previously bland background music, an inclusion which I immediately fell in love with and was a great way to include song into the core game mechanics.
I mean, this game has so much potential. It's basically Devil May Cry with
there's a
shitty
slight time
graphics.
skip where Zero has seemingly recovered and still mourns the loss of Michael. She also has a plot device growing out of her eye. I guess it's kind of interesting how the dragon was killed off early into the game. I wonder how the game will function now that we've, Oh no.
What the fuck am I watching?
My thoughts exactly, sister. This is Michael's resurrected form, who Zero decided to call Mikhail. When a dragon resurrects, it loses all memory of who it once was, essentially making them a brand new individual. It also makes them a dumb idiot baby who likes to take poo-poo and pee-pee, which causes me to XD.
Are you fucking kidding me?
This one. As the level progressed, I started to notice something I wasn't personally a fan of. In the original Drakengard games, the levels are very wide and spacious because it needed to accommodate the dragon who you could call throughout to make wiping out larger groups less of a chore. In Drakengard 3, we have hallways. This is down to the dragon segments on the ground being turned into separate levels, so there isn't a need for these wide open spaces. This is one of the many changes to the series I'm not a fan of, though I can understand them needing to do this considering how crap the frame rate is with just one dragon attack. Shifting back to the story, Zero is starting off her sister slaughter with the sex-crazed Gluttonous 5. Whenever we meet a new sister, I'll insert their DLC prologue so you have a better understanding of their character. However, 5's DLC is not the best.
What now? I don't want to do business. I can't deal with this incompetence. I'm not even their manager, I'm their fucking customer. Ugh, no wonder I get so testy. Sorry, guys. I'm just sick of dealing with idiots every day.
Upon a time, many moons ago,
Sorry, what was this about a sex-crazed robot?
there was a beautiful intoner and a young...
I'll be honest, so far, this looks like Devil May Cry with shitty graphics and frame rate. PlayStation 3 games were basically Devil May Cry 4 style. Even if they came with PlayStation 2 graphics, it would look better than this shit. Kuma's real name is George? That's new to me. Drakenguard is probably one of the most fucked series I've ever seen played in Mortal Kombat. Hey, I'm not against any of the characters or the artwork or the concept, but at least do it right, please. Well, no, his revenue solo, look at his crude humor. I'm okay with crude humor, but I'm starting to get worried because I can taste the sexual frustration. Let's continue.
After this, there's a slight time skip where Zero has seemingly recovered and still mourns the loss of Michael. She also has a plot device growing out of her eye. I guess it's
Someone
kind of
explain
interesting
that.
how the dragon was killed off early into the game. I wonder how the game will function now that we've, Oh no.
Now we're raising a teenage fucking dragon.
My thoughts exactly, sister. This is Michael's resurrected form, who Zero decided to call Mikhail. When a dragon resurrects, it loses all memory of who it once was, essentially making them a brand new individual. It also makes them a dumb idiot baby who likes to take poo-poo and pee-pee, which causes me to XD. I wanted this one. As the level progressed, I started to notice something I wasn't personally a fan of. In the original Drakengard games, the levels are very wide and spacious because it needed to accommodate the dragon who you could call throughout to make wiping out larger groups less of a chore. In Drakengard 3, we have hallways. This is down to the dragon segments on the ground being turned into separate levels, so there isn't a need for these wide open spaces. This is one of the many changes to the series I'm not a fan of, though I can understand them needing to do this considering how crap the frame rate is with just one dragon attack. Shifting back to the story, Zero is starting off her sister slaughter with the sex-crazed Gluttonous 5. Whenever we meet a new sister, I'll insert their DLC prologue so you have a better understanding of their character. However, 5's DLC is not the best. Once upon a time, many moons ago, there was a beautiful intoner and a young man. The intoner was driven by a vast array of lusts. A lust for honor, for wealth, for sex, for food. And the young man who accompanied her was really sick of it.
That ship, it's being really weird, right?
So basically, she's a Twitch
With the
thought.
big, juicy crab finally dispatched, the group decided to cook and eat it on the spot.
Oh, so yummy. Oh, yes.
Just the kind of backstory we needed. Mwah! I've got a perfect pedestal for you, my friend.
Why did you even
I
print
wanted
that?
to show you all, but writing things down felt like I was a young child, desperately
Why
trying
is
to
your
drag
room
Mummy and
purple?
Daddy into the next room to watch the super cool things his video game characters were doing, much to Mummy and Daddy's annoyance. But unlike that situation, you don't have a fucking choice. Here we see an intoner summoning an angel with the help of her disciple, and the transition between her song and the boss theme.
Behold, the fifth song, grand light of antiquity.
What is that 9S?
The great power made manifest, the ceremony of glorious arrival. Burn into thine eyes the punishing lance of divine retribution. I, Dito, summon thee in my name. Phanuel, arise!
That's the problem with Twitch, unfortunately. There's only one stream.
Ugh, how tacky can you get?
Some of the choices made in this game, it's good shit. Beating 5's angel, Phanuel, triggers the first of many fourth wall breaking scenes, which I'm still not entirely sold with. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're charming, but they shouldn't be overused, which the game does quite a bit. I guess comedy is a subjective thing, and I'm just being a big grumpy grump. 5 survives the attack and attempts to power up before her disciple Dito finishes her off, partly due to being a complete...
Sorry?
I booked a reservation for pizza restaurant at 6:30 for Broadway. 6:30 good?
6:30 good. We'll feast like gods.
So
Did you just take a look at my stomach when I said we'll feast like gods? Are you judging me?
No, I'm not.
You're judging my Buddha?
Do you want me to finish that?
Yes, I do.
No ice cream?
No. You bitch.
fucking psychopath. Disciples are humanoids whose job it is to defend the intoners and get rid of any physical desires they might have. I'm talking about sex. Did I forget to mention every intoner, including Zero, are sex-crazed nymphomaniacs? After reading Zero's novella, which stated she's a former sex worker, I thought it was a very interesting approach for a main character. It was a concept which stories and games have rarely focused on, and I'm not one of those people who won't play a character if they love dick, because I'd be a bit of a hypocrite. However, the game doesn't focus too much on Zero's past life and instead just loves talking about sex with no great payoff. If sex had an impact on the game's story other than, boy, I'm sure craving cock/boy pussy right now, then an interesting concept it would be. Instead, it feels awkward, especially with this fucker. Now we have Dito as a companion, we're gifted with a spear. We have 4 different weapon types in Drakengard 3, the sword, the spear, fists and chakrams. Spears help to shatter shields of enemies blocking your path, fists are slow but pack a lot of power, and chakrams can help shoot down pesky enemies who are out of reach. But I found myself using the sword for a majority of the game due to its decent speed and attack radius.
So she's a former sex worker, I see.
For the party, children.
That explains the costume.
You weren't loitering.
And if it isn't apparent, we're now in the land of mountains hunting the next sister, 4.
What kind of sister is there?
The sleazy kind. I mean, you kind of have to be evil to be a virgin until.
Really can't get along with her.
Really, I can't deal with virgins.
So you were the one that got paid to deflower little boys because you have a cute and innocent look? Wait, the guy's a virgin? Oh god, for the love of God.
At one stage, Zero defeats a Cerberus but fails to finish it off completely, resulting in her losing an arm. Again. This allows us to see how intoners regenerate, using the flower to birth a new body with no wounds. Fast forwarding past a ton of knee-slapping scenes which totally impact the plot, we reach our first dragon mission in the air, and boy howdy, I really...
Then what about your eye?
Using the first 2 games as an example, the air missions allowed you to have complete control over your dragon. You could ascend, descend, and turn around in mid-air, etc, so on. In Drakengard 3, they decided to make it Star Fox, a really bare-bones Star Fox. And come to think of it, there really isn't anything more I can say about these. What you see is what you get, I'm afraid. Zero makes it to 4, and as usual, her Cold Steel the Hedgehog impression is on point.
I'm not leaving until I've strewn your virgin guts all over the goddamn snow!
At first I pitied 4. I felt she was one of the more normal sisters who was thrown into the cake mix of suffering for a bit of extra flavour. But then I played her DLC.
Oh god!
Dragons can see the shape of a person's heart. And the heart of this beautiful intoner
Was missing?
was full of holes.
We achieved an honorable victory this day.
Yep. Keep telling yourself that. All you did was kill a bunch of helpless soldiers.
You know how the remaining elves have formed a band of air pirates, right? We dispatched them, but we didn't annihilate them.
This is even worse. It's goddamn manslaughter. What's so funny?
We're fighting elves, remember? So it can't be manslaughter.
The screams of burning victims rang out from the downed vessels. The cries for help echoed far and wide. But none of it bothered the intoner in the least.
So she's not interested in sex, she's
After
interested in
all,
killing people.
They weren't civilians. After all, they weren't human. The intoner was filled with sublime exhilaration.
Oh wow, she gets off to murder, okay.
World's biggest shit summons a fuck-off huge sentient castle which Zero and friends take down with little to no effort.
Tell me, are you saving yourself? Or do you just stink down
Stop! Stop!
See, I'm just gonna point out really quickly, the reason why Zero is attacking her for being a virgin is not because she doesn't like virgins. I get the feeling that her virginity was taken by force, therefore she hates it because she hates that in herself that she doesn't have that. It's like a projection sort of thing. But anyways, I don't think they thought about these characters that much through it because this is playing out like a fucking hentai. What am I watching?
Upon landing on her ship, Zero pulls the oldest trick in the book and this big dum-dum suffers the consequences.
Wait, how did you get her to hug you? How did you even do that?
Now that 4 is dead, Zero claims a disciple for herself, and I mean claims all of him.
Go clean up, front and rear. We meet tonight.
What the fuck?
And rear.
What the fuck? What the
Decadus
fuck?
is a masochist. Maybe Taro thought this was the funniest shit ever, because Jiminy Cricket he loves to remind you of his sexual preference every goddamn level, to the point of having no other character traits that you can remember other than is polite. And with the exception of 1 or 2 characters, no pun intended, most of them can be summed up with one personality trait which doesn't leave me feeling anything for them when the inevitable suffering begins. Moving on, now we have an airship. Now we don't have an airship. Now we have a dragon. Now we don't have a dragon. Young man, middle-aged man, old man. That's another one off the checklist. Gotta catch 'em all. This old man, Octa, is the disciple of 3, the next sister in line for the chopping block. He's decided to go rogue ever since her obsession with dolls has taken a rather sinister turn. Once upon a time, many moons ago, there was a beautiful intoner and an elderly man.
Oh
the
god.
intoner's only love in life was making dolls. She loved it so very much. Why do people fight each other? The man replied, I don't know. Why do people move? Why do people think? Why do people live? The intoner's questions continued on and on and on. The intoner's hobby caused her to lay hands upon human beings. Once she crossed that line, nothing could stop her.
Oh, for the love
The
of...
elderly man silently excused himself from the room. He chided himself for his impotence, as he mourned for his now broken intoner.
Jesus Christ.
With our new disciple in tow, we find Mikhail, who somehow found himself in a spot of bother, and upon rescuing him, we come face to face with 3. She summons a horde of undead soldiers who we defeat with ease, only for her to forcefully use Octa to summon her angels.
Our missile, invade!
At this point, Zero looks oh my god, here come the dolls.
What is with you and giant flying demon babies?
I don't fucking know what acid has he been drinking. He's been drinking acid while watching hentai, obviously.
Zero, that was one.
Did you really think
Something like that would finish an intoner.
Ah, well, hello there.
This is Sent, 2's disciple. However, unlike the other disciples, Sent and 2 are wildly in love. He manages to escape with Mikhail, leaving Zero and crew wingless till they get him back, which they do, rather quickly. Sent tells us that eventually Mikhail will be Zero's downfall, however nobody but Octa seems to really give a shit about this, so moving on. When we finally reach 2, we see she isn't the same girl we saw in the introduction. Her mind has gone. 2 is easily my favourite sister out of all of the intoners, and my reasoning is her DLC, which is by far the most Drakengard-esque thing this game has produced. Throughout the endless war, a kind intoner gathered orphans across the land and cared for them.
Okay, so far so good.
She didn't have any parents of her own, so she wanted to help others escape the misery that she herself had known. And through it all, her one true love was always at her side. This is the story of a certain couple. A couple that strove endlessly to support each other.
So far so good.
A letter just arrived from Decadus. It seems something bad is happening in the Cathedral City.
Something bad? Are the orphans all right?
They should be. They're holed up deep underground. And they've got a squadron of enhanced soldiers guarding them.
Is that Dio?
What happened to the Cathedral City?
I may have made them less than normal. You reinforced them with the power of your song. That may be why.
We have to get to the children.
These aren't your children anymore. It's a monster.
Why are they screaming? Why are they crying? Why are they calling out to me? Help me.
Lady 2. Know that I will accompany you to wherever your broken spirit takes you.
What the fuck?
Her 2 angels, Egregori, are taken down rather embarrassingly, and one of them causes Mikhail to evolve one stage further, which makes him look identical to Michael.
Well, that would just get confusing.
Michael.
I suppose from this point on, I'll be serving you, Lady Zero.
Oh, shut up,
Now,
fuckboy.
I had to go back and rewrite this bit. Originally, I was calling Sent out for being a lying piece of shit, but then I started reading the intoner's memoirs in the DLC section of the chapter select screen. All of them are equally as interesting to read and gradually get more and more depressing as the stories go along. 5's goes from sex toys to trying to figure out what humanity and happiness is. 3's is written in the perspective of a young soldier who free turns into the first Cyclops. And 2's goes from a light-hearted recipe book to Sent trying to figure out how to get 2 to eat anything whatsoever after the incident. This particular section makes me think he's joining Zero in order to keep his word to 2 that he won't under any circumstance die, even if without his intoner, that's all he wants to do. So, pretty much instantly after 2's demise, we're in a very strange-looking city chasing after
So
the
what is
final
Zero
sister.
doing? Collecting fuck
I was
buddies?
once asked the question, why does the city in Drakengard 3 look similar to Tokyo in Drakengard 1? And my answer at the time was, Turns out that in the history of Midgard, this city just appeared one day and brought with it the ability to use magic. Could this be a parallel version of Tokyo? Could I be pulling things out of my arse? The answer is probably yes, to both.
Don't worry about me! You take that black piece of shit!
Whoa, dude! Hey, dude, that was too far.
When we near the entrance to the main cathedral where one is located, Zero decides to let us know that disciples are only able to keep their human forms within Intoner's power. Well, thanks for letting us know this. Honestly, at this point I had no idea they were even inhuman creatures.
I'm giving you your old forms back.
What are your old forms? The fuck?
We wish them all luck with their new careers and her total boyfriend. Entering the cathedral brings
What
us
the
face to face
fuck?
with one, the leader and last remaining of the Intoner sisters. She begins to talk about some Drakengard lore, but Zero is all,
So you must be the secret ingredient.
Fuck you!
Fuck you!
and thus begins the final showdown with Gabriel, which I sucked at. I sucked pretty hard. And just like that, we're already at the ending of Branch A, when Mikhail is shot with a fatal blast, causing Zero to beg him to resurrect himself. Mikhail decides to shed light, but the dragon gets a final wish, and that's what causes them to resurrect. However, he decides to use this wish to allow Zero to win the fight, which is kind of a shitty-ass way for this branch to end. Like, oh okay, we can't beat the boss with our wits, instead we're just like, given a wish or something? Cool.
I'm sorry.
And does she use her wish to resurrect herself or some shit? My god, she's an insane bitch. But wait, there were pigeons?
It's over.
There were pigeons?
Well, one and Mikhail are dead. Guess it's just Zero left now.
Nani? So who stabbed her? Yeah, so the dragon used her wish to bring her back. Goddamn wishes.
One.
I'm One's brother.
What the fuck?
This fucking happen? Once upon a time, many moons ago, there were 5 beautiful Intona sisters. 4 of the Intonas owned a personal servant called a disciple, but one of them had no disciple at all. Lacking a disciple to call her own, the Intona used one of her own ribs to fashion herself.
Oh god, you've been reading Genesis.
The 2 of them made up for what each other lacked, and they grew up together within the cathedral. Well, this cheeky chappy, sick reference by the way bro, I get it, has fulfilled his goal of killing Zero, and now that his sister isn't alive, he's a little confused about what to do. He leaves the room coated in Zero's blood to create the Cult of the Watchers, and also has his own spin-off manga. If you don't like feeling like complete shit, then you should probably leave this manga alone, this is your final warning. And this concludes Branch A.
I should have known this branch would also end like this.
Who the fuck are you?
Seems like we should have taken a different branch somewhere along the way.
Who are you? Who are these characters out of nowhere? Guess you'll all be finding out in part 2.
What in the fuck? Yoko Taro takes too much drugs. Clearly. Someone's been taking... What? Plot dump, kill everyone, protagonist dead... Random person appears out of... What's the point of this story? I am so... What the fuck? Yoko Taro has a hard-on for sex worker, hentai, Bible... Okay, what does this have to do with the androids in NieR Automata again? I don't fucking know. And this fucking guy. This fucking guy. This Oh my god. Oh my god. And there were pigeons? But why were they all pigeons? Couldn't they be like something else? Like one Intona found a pigeon, the other Intona found a mouse, the other Intona found a spider, you know? Or was that like fucking too much work? Am I gonna play NieR? I don't think so. It depends. Because going by the gameplay that I'm seeing here, no. I can't play a PlayStation 3 game that looks and performs like a PlayStation 1 game with 8 FPS. It's not gonna happen. I would lose my shit. I've got a certain requirement. It's either gonna run smoothly or it's gonna be a really good story. And with the amount of fucking confusion in this thing, this summary is more than enough. At this point. So Adam and Eve are there. So Adam and Steve happen again. And then we are Zero. Does that make 2B a sex worker and 9S a... Like, where are we going with this? I need that ice cream. I don't care if I get fat. I'll go to the gym. Give me 1 sec. Take a quick 1 minute break, guys, and we'll watch part 2. Let's do it. 1 minute break. PF Simulator. Actually, NieR isn't that bad. It has a great story. Hell, some of the NieR's gameplay carried over NieR Automata like the pod. NieR mentioned Zero, I think, unless that was a body Kuma found, and I'm mixing up details. I'm gonna be honest. Character-wise, they fucked up. I'm gonna put this on full screen, because reasons. And they fucked up. You had one of the sisters, I think it was 2 or something, that was adopting children and, you know, raising them in a good household because that's what she never had. Really good character. They messed up on that one. They had Zero that's a former sex worker, which is why she's so against the virgin girl. Fair enough. But you don't have to make it crude. You can make it a part of her character. The first one that's a sex maniac, fair enough. You could have made it crude while those two insulting each other in, you know, like innuendos and crap. But then with the other character, she should behave differently to make her character, you know, better. But then you killed her off at the end of the arc. So like, what the fuck? You've ended it there. They should have at the very least thought through the characters a little bit better. Because say, for example, in an anime like Akame ga Kill, you've got one of the characters that's a former sex worker, which is why she goes around killing the Yakuza that take advantage of young girls that are sex workers. That's a part of her character. It makes her character have a dynamic that's unique to her. What they did here was just shove in as many sexual innuendos as they possibly could for the sake of that. Like, it doesn't serve a purpose. They just shoved it in there for no why. Did Yoko Taro even ever get laid? Is that why he's wearing the head thingy? So he doesn't have to look at people? Like, what the fuck? I'm gonna get stuff out. I'm eating an ice cream a day. It's like, what the fuck? If NieR is... We're playing NieR Automata first. We might play NieR if I really, really like NieR Automata. We'll see. Let's put it on the maybe pile. I'll answer it later. Here we go with part 2 of Drakengard 3.
Now, although we still have a few endings left to cover, the game decides to introduce someone who I personally felt was more compelling than the entirety of the current cast, with an exception being 2. This is Accord, a mysterious girl who's recording particular branches of Drakengard for an unknown purpose. I feel it's poking fun at the branching timelines that Drakengard is popular for without being an outright mockery. I found all of this charming, which said a lot considering hardly any of the humour during the game so far made me laugh or at least smile. Bless you, child. Accord warns Zero that no matter what branch she goes down, it'll all end in disaster. Zero doesn't seem to care as she heads off into branch B, where things are a little different from the first time. During this timeline, for some reason or another, we have Scent with us. Scent is having dreams about a woman called 2, who he claims to have never met before, and as we venture through the forest, we realise that a lot more has changed than we first thought. It seems that 1 is now hunting in toners, which led to 3 having a premature death.
Is she dead? She's totally dead!
What the hell is going on here?
Indeed. A few steps further and we're met with none other than Shish Kebab 1 and 2, who's just having a giggle. Ding dong, my kids are dead, my sister's dead, my kids are dead! Dito goes in for the kill, but Scent stops him with the old sword in chest trick. Apparently, not even shifting timelines can change a disciple's loyalty to their intoner. Decadus bites the bullet whilst mortally wounding 2, Octa is slain by Scent, who is then mortally wounded by Zero. The couple inch closer towards each other and using their final breath, they summon an angel.
Give us your blessing, Raphael.
Still waiting for Lucifer.
Cowabunga.
During the fight with Raphael, we notice that poison is slowly filling the arena, which immediately hits Zero and Mikhail. Zero can ultimately survive thanks to the flower, Mikhail, however, cannot. Branch B ends with Mikhail passing away due to Raphael's poison, so Zero decides to do something that no one else in his timeline has ever done before. She makes a pact, utilising the last remains of her song's energy. When Mikhail wakes, he finds himself sporting an unusual flower in his eye and the voice of a small girl in his head.
What you doing, dummy? You gonna sleep all day or what?
He responds to this girl as he usually would with Zero, as Accord puts the finishing stamp on this particular branch. Branch C starts with Mikhail devolving for some reason, which forces a core to take a special interest in this particular timeline for the unusual goings-on. Zero finds 2 hanging around and kindly asks her to take the curse off Mikhail.
Get that fucking curse off my dragon!
Let's have a look at this scene for a moment. Okay, so we see here Zero's beginning to run, and sure enough, there's this big long space, but wasn't she running? She would have reached her by this point. What is she doing? Is she picking up a penny? And then right when the gameplay starts, she's even further than she was in a cutscene. What's going on, guys? After they both engage in a 1v1 fight, she giddily wanders over to Cent, but the other disciples are plain old meanie heads, and I guess Cent is just...
What is this, Game of Thrones?
Lady 2.
Can this poor girl catch a break?
Yes. I'm here now.
Damn it, Dio!
I guess not. Oh, fuck. Walking into one's new abode, where she hired Marilyn Manson's interior decorator, she spills some juicy details that Zero's flower is the big bad of the game, and despite the 5 intoners grouping together to save the world, they will inevitably bring its destruction, explaining why Zero is feverishly attempting to destroy them as they somehow have an unknown link to the flower. She also mentions that Zero will need a dragon's power in order to kill herself once the job is done, which takes Mikhail by surprise. One summons an angel named Abdiel, who follows the popular trope of find the weak point, then smashy smashy. After Abdiel's defeat, Gabrielle and Mikhail have a test to see whose Kamehameha is the strongest, but it turns out the answer is neither, as they both fucking die. This makes the two sisters
This
pretty
is why you don't
grumpy,
get
and
laid.
as you'd expect, Zero wins. If you can call this winning.
If you're not here, then who's gonna kill me?
How much XP do you give? Wait, do you automatically keep giving birth to yourself?
I'll find a dragon somehow.
What?
Jesus, girl, how much did you eat? That's looking pretty creamy. Did you have too many cummy shakes?
Oh my god!
Horde puts an end to this particular timeline by recommending sealing off this particular branch due to the fragile state of the world's future now that Zero has lost her mind. Got all of that out of the way, let's start talking about the branch that won me over completely. Now, before I dive into the meat of this branch, I thought I'd take the time to explain exactly how the intoners came to be. During this branch, Zero has a flashback where she explains what she is. She's a corpse being kept alive by the parasitic flower that has bloomed in her eye. When she awoke past the point of death and realised this flower would eventually cause global destruction, she tried to destroy herself. The flower reacted negatively to this and split Zero's power into 5 little girls, each of which are just as dead as Zero and are all infused with the flower's power, meaning there are 5 possible chances of the apocalypse. If you're interested, there's a Drakenguard spin-off manga called Utagami 5, which focuses on the girl's antics after splitting from Zero. It's actually not that bad, so go check it out if you want to read something new.
So we're technically the devil.
That a dragon is the only creature that can rid the world of the flower's influence, which is where Mikhail/Michael comes in. His job is to kill Zero once Zero has destroyed her sisters. And back to the main story, which starts with Zero going to murder 4. However, it would appear that the flower's power is making her go a bit loopy.
We don't have to be scared of this world. Because once I destroy it, there won't be a world to be scared of anymore.
Has anyone ever told you that you have lovely eyes? Oh, I could fucking swim in them. She summons a fucking demon dragon, which has no explanation other than, damn girl, you crazy.
Zero!
She's right there. She's there. Stop me. Stop fucking yelling! Next up, we're chasing 3, but the forest is teeming with more undead than usual. When the crew reach a new location within the forest, they meet back up with 5, and I mean, there's clearly interesting shit everywhere because she can't seem to keep her eyes in one place.
You dumbass. You resurrected yourself?
What the fuck?
Arise. Galgalia.
Anani?
Dito gets a big stinking boner at 5's rotting body because he's a fucking freak and summons Funuel. Cent decides to defend the crew by summoning Egregori, and the two of them duke it out whilst we defeat the easiest boss battle of all time. But I don't know, 5 looks pretty cool, so I can give it a pass.
Zero. I'm so sad. Beautiful Zero.
Dang. I gotta keep away from girls with flowers growing in them.
She was reborn with a special gift. Zero, you were reborn with a special power. Now grow to be edgy and despise your sisters forever.
Psh, nothing personnel, sis.
Drakengard, the third.
After 5 dies, Ditto and Cent learn that a disciple can't summon an angel without an Intona's song, the hard way.
Zero, wait! No, 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 no!
Incredible! There's no point in living in a world without Lady 2 anyway. Now I can rest.
But she's an Intona. I thought you wanted to stick. Whatever.
My name is Mikhail. My name is Mikhail. I really love me some Zero. I'm not a stinky dragon, nor am I a dirty dragon. Hop on my back and let's go for a ride.
What the fuck?
3! Suicide will have to wait. 3 has somehow managed to snag herself an ancient dragon, otherwise known as a worm, and unlike the other sisters, she was already mind-broken in the first place, so she remains more or less the same. In fact, I think it made her happier. Just look at that Colgate grin. Decadus is launched up to Mikhail by Octa, and he sticks to his personality trope right to the end as he sacrifices his human form as a masochistic reward.
My angel holds the power to slow down his movements by a considerable degree.
Oh, you mean like bondage. I get it.
Oh, for the love of God, shut up!
I'm gonna miss fucking that bird.
You know, this would actually be a pretty good, like, thingy if he didn't have the sex jokes.
Yeah. One to go.
Another
Oh,
Intona
you
down, and
disgusting
instead
pig.
of going after 2, we're going straight after 1. I'm guessing 2 is either flat out dead in this timeline or having a coffee break. I mean, she kinda deserves one. During the final confrontation with 1, Octa, the last remaining Intona, summons his angels to give Zero a decent advantage.
A pity we couldn't grind the whetstone one last time.
So I'm guessing as long as it has 2 legs, and please make it 2 legs, Zero, don't let me down here, it's pretty much fair game in the bone zone, right?
See? Even in times of crisis, my man's sword is as
Girl,
strong
you
as
need
a
standards,
witch's
fuck's sake.
What a weird little game you are.
Engage accelerator.
Out of nowhere, Accord initiates rocket boot mode and requests a hack into the goddamn timeline using her old school mobile phone, so Zero has a chance to kill both 1 and Accord as she's giving herself up as a noble sacrifice. Let's just go with it.
Understood. Executing code.
Oh!
So, as you can plainly see, Accord is an android, something which NieR Automata... Automata? Oh, fuck it. We'll be focusing on almost exclusively. Accord is shut down by Zero, and then the final boss is within clear sight. Zero has absorbed all of the flower's power that her sisters had taken away from her, and now a transformation is imminent. And if you've been watching since my Drakenguard 1 video, you might recognise some similarities.
You've grown strong, Mikhail.
Wait, why are we finding our dragon? Do you gotta play as Mikhail? Aww! Wait, why am I feeling sad for the dragon?
Zero, you big dummy.
Wait a minute. Oh god, it's always stinking flowers. Damn it, Flowery. Are you kidding me? That was you?
Now, this boss battle will split a majority of players straight down the middle. One side can't stand it and think redoing the Queen Beast battle is a straight out fuck you to the player, and the other half love the fact that Taro is being a bit cheeky by messing around with the player and making it completely unfair intentionally. I'm personally fine with having this type of boss battle again, however the song proved to be so difficult I couldn't beat it without this amazing guy who made it more like a rhythm game than an awkward parrying match. Each sister will sprout out of each petal and will change the difficulty, sometimes being complete bullshit. The boss also brings up other questions, such as is Zero the Queen Beast we fight in Drakengard 1, or is it an Intona from a separate branch? So far we have no solid answer, so a lot of it falls into pure speculation. After you've beaten the boss, and seriously pat yourself on the back if you have, Mikhail will fire the finishing blow, sealing the Intonas away in another dimension and essentially killing them all, including Zero. The game ends with, a chord?
Here's another huge mess for us to deal with.
Oh, fucking what?
It's a secret to everybody.
You know your life's fucked when you have a sock as a companion.
I hope to see you again someday.
Thanks.
But until then, I'd like to say thank you for playing.
You too. I did it! I finally did it! I hit the goal I set out to achieve! Hopefully during our free game journey you've learned a lot about the universe of Midgard, and tell me if you ended up playing the games thanks to my videos. To finalise my thoughts on Drakengard 3, it's difficult. The game has returned back to its dark roots, however I have a very hard time taking it seriously. Maybe my love for the first game's narrative restricts how much I can enjoy a game that tries to be edgy and for some reason, funny. The wasted potential within this particular game upsets me, but I can't get mad at the genuinely valid reason of we ran out of time and budget. However, I'm also talking about Taro's writing. If you didn't originally know, the five sisters have particular physical abnormalities that are similar to a pack partner losing a particular trait. Each sister has a trait that continues to grow, one being an exception who stopped growing. For 5, it's breasts, 4, her fingernails, 3, her hair, and 2, her strength. Considering how the base game
her strength?
This, how cool would it have been if these issues tied in with the gameplay and boss fights? Maybe Zero approaching the sisters accelerates those particular attributes, causing someone like 5 to become incapacitated due to her breasts swelling to an inhuman size, or 2's strength becoming so overwhelming she can't touch something without it being destroyed. Instead, it feels kinda shoehorned in to hit another Drakengard trope, which isn't the worst thing ever, it just would have been better to see these issues being tackled within cutscenes. And speaking of the sisters, my biggest problem with the game as a whole is its DLC. Not because of its quality, but because it's DLC in the first place. Some of these segments have some of the best character moments in the game, but in order to play all of them, you need to pay for each sister individually or as a bundle. Why did we need to pay for these? They made me care for each sister a lot more than the base game managed to, which is important in a game where life being taken away from you is an all too common thing. During my first playthrough, I had no particular feelings towards 2 at all, but after her DLC segment she became one of my favourites, and I had to pay for that character development. Cosmetics? Sure. Parts which are important to the base story? No. Finally, recommending Drakengard 3 is a tough one. I mean, the game feels frustrating to play at points, and the frame rate dipping under 5 isn't exactly what I'd call a fun time. It definitely doesn't feel like a prequel to Drakengard 1, but thankfully the trophy for replicating Drakengard's tone goes to NieR, which I'll look into closer to NieR Automata's release date. And despite sounding negative, I still respect this game in many ways. This is a game that shouldn't exist in the first place, much like NieR Automata.
Wait, that's gonna be a boss fight?
Hell, do you remember when Automata was announced at E3? I'm pretty sure even Taro was like, excuse me, what now? Someone in Square Enix clearly has a lot of respect for Taro and his weird method of game creation and storytelling, and I'm the same. No matter what type of game Taro pushes out, if it feels like a breath of fresh air compared to most games being pushed out nowadays, then I'll continue to buy them, analyse and review them. Buy this game if you're a fan of Taro's work. If you aren't, then you probably won't get much out of it minus frustration, annoyance and a general bad time. Holy crap, we're finally at the end of the Drakengard series. Now, as I mentioned before, I will be tackling NieR, but I kinda feel like I need to take a break from Taro games. I've been playing them like non-stop, and I'd like to do something a little bit different, but when Automata gets a release date, then I will make a NieR video, and that is a solemn promise from me to you. Don't forget to subscribe, and sharing the video actually does help the channel a lot, so if you want to do that, please do. See you all in the next video. Peace.
Huh. Reading the novel which depicts how Zero life was before she was an Antona and her true motivation of being an unrecognized heroine despite being despised by all since she is a harbinger of chaos. Made me feel really sympathetic towards her. She's a broken person, yet she's somewhat good. Despite never being loved by anybody on her life and being abused by everyone, she's a prostitute. She truly cares for her dragon. Ah, that's the NieR analysis. Gotta stop there. Can't ruin that. I could kind of... Would I play that game? No. I've seen the story. I've seen all the plot twists. No reason to play it. I could kind of see that they had to put it as a DLC because they ran out of budget. So in order to make it, they had to charge people for it. But then again, knowing how the gaming industry and anime industry works and how strict the budget and deadlines are, it sort of does make sense. But at the same time, it's sort of like shitty for a player. Imagine if I bought a game for $99, right? Alright, say I bought NieR Automata for $99 and we only got like, 3 out of 5 routes, for example. I'd be like, what the fuck, right? You don't get the full story because the company ran out of money. It's like, but I paid $99, which is like the full, price for a AAA premium title. You guys didn't finish it because of your own internal budget constraints, and now I'm paying for an extra DLC for something that should have already been in the original game. That's just a dick move. Like, I can understand it, but it's also a dick move. Yeah, so we're up to NieR. I'm going to see with Blue if we should actually watch NieR, because we've just finished Route A or NieR Automata. I don't know if we should really watch NieR. I'm not sure. I thought I saw that NieR is on PlayStation 3, or is NieR on PlayStation 4? Yeah, Drakenguard is still as fucked up as I remember, and I'm glad I'm not the only one confused watching it. It's a lot of plot, but there's also a lot of plot that isn't important. In the first 2 games, the main thing is the fact that you've got those things, the baby things, which is revealed to be these inhibitors. And then you've got the dragons of how they work, only on PlayStation 3. Okay, well, we've pretty much gotten a PlayStation 3 so we can play Metal Gear Solid. I mean, I can always buy it if I need to. But it's one of those things, is it worth playing? That's the real question. Because you got to take into consideration that we'll only be streaming on Saturday and Sunday when I start working full time, and the only time I have to stream is Saturday and Sunday, which means I got to be very picky with the games I play because, playing one game means I'm not playing another. So let's take a look real quick. So NieR would... Okay, so we've got dragons, we've got their wishes, we've got the thingy, we've got the girls with the flower that turns them into inhibitors, that turns them into those giant things, which means they're probably the aliens, but have been destroyed. So it's going to tie into the storyline of NieR Automata, fair enough. But we're essentially needing to digest 4 games. Fair enough. Like, I'm glad I don't have to play Drakengard, because I would never get past the first 20 minutes. I've bought Final Fantasy 10 on PlayStation 2. I played it for 10 minutes. I'm like, I can't play this shit, right? There's a certain requirement that I need. It needs to be either fun gameplay or story's got to be really good from the jump. I wouldn't be able to play Drakengard because of this, because the gameplay is just so repetitive. Like, I would go nuts. I would watch a review or at the most watch the cutscenes on YouTube. NieR, I'd put as a question mark on whether or not we're going to play, because it would either A, have to have a recommendation from a lot of people telling me it's really worth it. The gameplay is decent enough and it's better than just watching the cutscenes. Or B, I got to get so deeply invested in NieR Automata that I seriously need to frickin' play it. Otherwise, I'm going to die. So it's going to be one of the two. It's either going to be like a really, really big recommendation from the community, or it's going to be something I get really, really invested in personally and I got to play it because reasons. So I don't know yet. We're going to see how it goes. A friend of mine said I need to play NieR, but he's basically the type of person that likes anything Android-wise, such as Ghost in the Shell, anything like that. He's a huge fan of. So him saying you need to play this game is basically like saying, "Ooh, this game has androids. You must play it because of androids," sort of thing. So I can't really rely on his opinion alone. It's got to be something that's either very, very good or something that should be appreciated, it's underappreciated, or something that I'm very much into. So we'll see how we go. I'll see if I could possibly edit out these video things that we had on Twitch, because Twitch doesn't care about copyright. So we'll see if we can get these edited out, put in the reaction channel, and then upload to the NieR Automata playlist, because that way people would be able to play, people would be able to watch these without having an issue. So what's the next game you're playing? Kingdom Hearts? I'm not playing Kingdom Hearts today. I played Kingdom Hearts on Sunday. So we finished up Zero Escape. We're playing NieR Automata. We're playing Kingdom Hearts. We're going to finish up Undertale. Uncharted is still on the back burner. Resident Evil is on the back burner. Metal Gear Solid is on the back burner. Devil May Cry is on the back burner. What's really getting me, even World of Warcraft's on the back burner. What's really getting me is I'm about to start full-time employment and I don't have enough live stream slots to play all these awesome games. That's what, like, if I stream twice a day, which means I do absolutely nothing else except live streaming on the weekend, I'm going to get a maximum of 4 games streamed. That's the issue, time. I'm pretty much just part-time at the moment, YouTube switching back to part-time. So timing's going to be the issue. So that's the thing. What are we going to play? I really want to play Devil May Cry because I'm a huge fan of it. But at the same time, you guys want to see MGS. You guys want to see a bit of Uncharted. You guys want to see, like, there's all these games. It's just insane. There's all these games. It's impossible to play all these good games. So we're going to see. Hopefully I can defeat Sans this coming weekend so we could finally wrap up Undertale, because Sans is just ridiculous. We've got 2 weeks of muscle memory we would have digested, so we could definitely get on the last phase. We just got to push a little harder and then we're done. Kingdom Hearts, I feel, is going to be a very long-term thing. It's going to take months and months and months to sort of catch up to that series. But at the same time, we've got the new games, which I really enjoy. I never played Resident Evil 1. I never played Resident Evil 2. Devil May Cry 5 has come out. I never played. We haven't even finished Red Dead Redemption 2. We haven't even caught up to The Walking Dead. We haven't done the second route for Detroit Become Human. Even Persona 5 is just sort of sitting there. Like, there's so many games. What I'm going to play next, that's a good question. There's also Zero Time Dilemma that there's so many games people want us to play, and it's going to be one of those things where I got to make a decision. I've played Uncharted 1 and 2 as like a personal Kuma pick. I started an extra live stream slot on Saturday afternoon to get that done. I played on Monday's NieR Automata like I did today. That's unfortunately going to disappear when I start doing full time, so it's going to have to take one of the slots somewhere. So it's one of those things. What are we going to play? That's an amazing question. I wouldn't know how to answer. I thought Hachan would be at work till about 5 p.m, which means I would have been able to play the Devil May Cry demo today, but unfortunately I might actually do that on Wednesday, which is in 2 days from now, just because Hachan wants to do some of her reactions. Deltarune after Undead, it's a one-stream game, but it's about 8 hours. So, and if I do 8 hours, I won't be able to do 2 streams on the Saturday. Don't forget, this coming up weekend is going to be, the upcoming weekend is going to be the final weekend before I go to Japan, and then I'm in Japan for 2 weeks. So basically, the coming up weekend, which is like 5 days from now, there's going to be a break of about 2.5 weeks before I stream again. So it's going to be the coming up weekend, and then 2 weekends are going to be blank. I'm going to have some highlight videos posted on those weekends, and then we go back to streaming. Deltarune is just a one-chapter teaser right now. Yeah. Well, it's a little bit like the Danganronpa thing. When it comes out, we're going to want to play it. So, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. So yeah, we'll see. I'm going to have to make a decision somewhere. I'm going to talk to the sponsors and see what's up, because they really wanted BioShock. And then at the same time, they really want Mass Effect. But we're basically out of live stream slots. We're not going to be... At the moment, we had like 5 slots. We're going to drop down to 4. Possibly less, because if I only have Saturday and Sunday off when I work full-time, I simply won't have the time to do that. If I do 4 live stream slots, I'm going to be exhausted every single day. It's unsustainable. It won't be done for years. Then maybe I'll play that 1 chapter and then we'll just wait. But yeah, we're going to have to figure something out because it would be unsustainable for me to play 4 different games on 2 days worth of live streaming. I wouldn't be able to sustain that. I wouldn't have the energy. Monday to Friday you work and you're exhausted, and then you spend your whole weekend live streaming. You've got no time to rest. I would need time to recuperate. Wouldn't have the energy for that. And not to mention, like, we've done no reactions in a while, so I gotta make time for that too. So we'll see. We'll probably have to drop back to like 3 live stream slots, or even possibly 2, like the old days. So we'll see how it goes. That's just the thing. That's what work does when you work 5 days a week. You can't do YouTube as much as you would like to, unfortunately. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see which games make it. BioShock won the vote, and we're halfway through. And I just bought it on PlayStation, so I believe I just bought it on this account. I might actually just be able to download it now. If only you could do YouTube full-time. Well, if only. Unfortunately, YouTube has gone from ad revenue to more user donation platform because the ad revenue's got to shit. Don't get me wrong. If you've got hundreds of thousands of viewers and you've got ad revenue, you've got Patreon, you could still do it full-time. But it's not sustainable on ad revenue alone. Even bigger YouTubers with hundreds of thousands of subs can't survive on ad revenue alone. They needed to open up Patreon and things like that. So it's changed a lot. It's not like it was like 4 or 5 years ago where if you had 100,000 subs, you're basically full-time and you can pay all your bills. It doesn't work that way anymore, unfortunately. It's changed. YouTube's changed. You either got to be in the hundreds of thousands, and I'm talking in like 500,000, 600,000 with sponsorships, or you got to have like a Patreon where you've got literally people donating. So it's changed. The format's changed. So it is what it is. So we'll see how we do this. Because there's so many good things to play. I might just have to talk to the sponsors and make a decision. Detroit Become Humans on disc. Oh yeah, that's the disc. Right. The Last of Us Remastered. Do I have the disc for The Last of Us? Yeah, I played it on disc. Play this one on disc. So we'll see. We'll see. You guys will see. I'll post it for the sponsors, and then you guys will know what will happen. We'll see what happens when we start working full time. You guys will know. So thanks for coming today, guys. I'll see if I can get these things edited out, and I'll post a few highlights here and there. Just remember, it helps when you guys share, when you post it on Twitter, when you post it on Facebook. It really does help. The more people we have, the more viewers we have. It really does help in the long term, because even companies that do sponsorships on YouTube channels, they don't look at you if you don't have more than 100,000. You know, they don't even look at you. They don't even consider you. It doesn't matter if the person with 100,000 sub has 10 viewers or if he has 1,000 viewers. If you don't have the 100,000 subs, they don't care. So it's one of those things where it's less about viewers and more about subs these days. It is what it is. So yeah, we're gonna finish it up here. I'm gonna get Hutch on to do a few reactions, and I'm gonna see you guys in 2 days' time. I'm gonna book something. I'm gonna see what we're gonna do in 2 days' time. Maybe it's the Devil May Cry demo. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's one of those games that I really want to play. So we'll see how we go. So thanks for coming. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in 2 days. Till then, NicoB out. Bye. And if you're watching the replay, thanks for stopping by. I'll catch you guys later. Child. What the fuck?
Child.
What is this?
Don't listen to them, 2B.
Together forever. Together forever. Carry me.
They don't have any feelings. They're
What
just
the fuck?
imitating human speech.
What the
Let's
fuck?
take them out.